Today's video is about rounding decimals. So your vocabulary word for today is round. Please write that in your math notebook along with the other vocabulary from decimals. Here is the definition of round that you can copy into your math notebook. Now we're going to move on to explain remember what rounding is. Remember, when we've rounded with whole numbers before, for example, we have a number line with the number 400 and 500, and say we want to round 437 to the nearest hundreds place. On the number line, we know that this is 450, and 437 would be somewhere over here on the number line, which means it is closer to 400 than to 500. So when we round, we would round 437 to 400. On the other hand, if we have a number line from 400 to 500, and we want to round 479, again, we know that here's the middle where 450 is, and 479 is somewhere over here. So we see that 479 is closer to 500, so we round that to 500. With the last example, of course, we can also round things to the tens digit. For example, if we want to round 446 to the tens digit, on our number line, we'll look at 440 and 450 because this is one step up on the tens digit. We know that right here in the middle is 445, and 446 is right here, which means it is closer to 450 than 440. It's closer to 450, so that's what we will round 446 to if we're rounding to the tens place. With decimals, when we round to, in the previous examples, we rounded to the hundreds place or the tens place. Here, I want you to notice that we're still rounding to the nearest place, but now we're going to start rounding to the nearest ones place, the nearest whole number. On the number line, you can see that we have 24 and 25. Those are one step up from whole numbers. This is one whole number. The next whole number is 25. Let's look at the question. The crack on the Liberty Bell is about 24.5 or 24 and 5/10 inches long. So let's round 24 and 5/10 inches to the nearest inch. Again, I will point out that we have 24 plus one more whole number is 25, and in the middle is 24 and 5/100. Let's remember the rule where anything that's greater than or equal to 5, we round up, and anything that is smaller than 5, we round down. So in this example, we're looking at 24.5, so that means it's equal to 5. We're going to round up to the nearest 25. So when we round 24 5/100ths of an inch to the nearest inch, we round up to 25 inches. The next example here, we have Jasmine's mass is 35 2/10 kilograms. Here's the number line. We have 35. The next whole number is 36. In the middle, we have 35.5. And Jasmine's weight is 35 2/10. So which whole number is it closer to? Is it closer to 35 or is it closer to 36? Obviously, we see the number 35 2/10 is between 35 and 36. It is closer to or nearer to 35 than to 36. So that means when we round down, because it's less than 5, to 35 kilograms. In this example, I want you to do it by yourself. The question says round 26.8 to the nearest whole number. Now that you've given your answer, watch as I explain it. 26.8 or 26 8/10 is between the whole number 26 and 27. Let's mark off 26.5 because that will help us determine if we round up or round down. The number 26 8/10 is between 26 and 27. I just showed you that. So it is nearer to 26 than to 27. 26 than to 27. Since the tenths digit is greater than 5, we have greater than 5. 8/10 is bigger than 5/10. We're going to round up. So 26 8/10 rounded to the nearest whole number is 27. Skip that example. And now we're going to go to hundredths. We're actually going to look at another. So when we come back to this slide, we see that we are looking at 39 45/100ths, but we're still talking about the nearest whole number. So 39 is the whole number below, and we look to the next whole number and 40. 39 and 40. We know right in the middle is 39 5/10. And we know that 39 45/100ths is the same as if we were to draw this number chart. Sorry, is if we were to add 10 little tiny lines in here, and we're looking at the fifth. So we're looking at, this line is 39.4, and then we would go with 39.41, 0.42, 0.43, 0.45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. So we know, obviously, that 39 45/100ths is right in the middle here between 39 4/10 and 39 5/10. All of that to explain that 39 45/10 is closer to 39 than it is to 40. If we measure the distance between here and here, it is smaller than between here and here. Or in other words, it is less, it is on this side of the halfway mark. You guys to remember this. Remember that if we have a number line between 0 and 1, if we have talking about tens, we'll divide this number line into 10 parts. 1, 2, 3. And this is 0 0.1, 0 0.2, 0 0.3, 0 0.4, 0 0.5, 0 0.6, 0 0.7, 0 0.8, 0 0.9, and this is 0 0.10 or 1. Now what happens if we just look at this tiny piece? We get a number line that looks like this. 0 0.1 and 0 0.2. So here we have in blue tenths. We have a whole number divided into 10 pieces. And then this whole section over here, we're going to divide that into 10 also. So if this has 10 pieces, and 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 all of these have 10 pieces, that means we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and this represents hundreds. So this is 0 0.1, 0 0.12, 0 0.13, 0 0.14, halfway is 0 0.15, 0 0.16, 0 0.17, 0 0.18, and 0 0.19, and here is 0 0.20 or 0 0.2. So now you're going to try something on your own. You obviously cannot draw number lines on the computer. So when it says for each decimal, draw a number line, I want you to draw the number line in your math notebook. Okay? And you can mark an X in your notebook where the decimal is located. But I would like you to show the answer of rounding it to the nearest whole number here on the computer. So let's look at the answer. Let's look at the answers that you found. So we're looking at